evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We are on the way to 11,600 subscribers. And if you could click the like button, I would be incredibly grateful. It's a Wednesday. We're over halfway through the week. We are basically a week away from Arsenal returning to the pitch. And it is good to see so many of you here. Trixie has already done his new membership, a member for 2 months. He says, we're about that life. Big up the YouTube gang. Hope the fam are well. I'm gritting teeth this window, but you know how we're feeling. I do know how we're feeling. And Trixie, thank you very, very much for the continued support on the channel. It really does mean a lot. Pekka's here, Hyper, Jack, Ethan Udall, Vincent, Vivi Vlad, Anu Brata, Leeds Gunner, Jakob, Big Chib, Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, Cherms, Magnus, Kaisernex, Ross Lorman, Lukey, Leo Nesbitt, Tentego, Wilsey, Ryan, Sportcat, Matthew, Dominic, and many, many more. Smithy's in the building as well. And yeah, look, we're talking about Calafiori again. The longer it rumbles on, the more concerning it is. We're going to be talking about Nico Williams. We're going to be talking about some of the outgoings, Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah. And we'll also have a sneak peek at my Fantasy Premier League team. FPL has launched today. We've got a league again. And so we'll check that out at the end. Thoughts on Yoro to Man United? Can't say I know much about him, but there is a lot of hype. Look, he's an 18-year-old, 6'3", played the majority of the season for Lille, and lots of teams were interested in him. Real Madrid were interested, Liverpool were interested, PSG were interested. The reality is Man United were willing to pay far more than any of those teams were. To put it into perspective, Man United have paid somewhere in the region of £45 million, but it could go up to like £60 million. Real Madrid were offering 20 million. So Man United have effectively offered like nearly treble what anyone else was willing to pay because he's only got 12 months left on. Effectively, they're paying over. It'll end up being over 50 million quid for an 18-year-old with 12 months left on his contract, and they're paying him over £100,000 a week as well. So they've put the money down and they've won it. Hannah, good to see you. Blake, been working 13 days in a row and still going strong. We'll always catch the stream. We'll watch back after. Yeltek, what an absolute trooper, working 13 days in a row. Fair play, and I appreciate you watching back as well. Arsenal not paying the last 5 million. Is it to the rest of the clubs we aren't to be shoved around? If this deal falls through, it just shows everyone else we are dumbasses who fumbled the Maldini regen. We'll get into Calafiori. Basically, look, Arsenal have a valuation on the player, right? There is a valuation. And by the way, I do remember seeing this. I think it was it Ornstein said it or someone said it when Arsenal went into or when it was revealed that Bologna wanted 50 million euros for Calafiori. Ornstein said a lot of people in the industry felt like that was too much for Calafiori, that's more than he's worth. And I think Arsenal think that too. The reason Bologna want that extra money is because they're paying 50% as a sell-on clause to Basel. And I think they're pissed off that they agreed to that. I think they're really annoyed that they agreed to that now that they're getting so much money for him or could get so much money for him. And I don't think Arsenal should budge on it. I don't think Arsenal should just go, okay, here's the extra 5 million. That's when you start getting pushed around. That is when you start getting pushed around. Like the vid. Yeah, come on. If you could like the vid, try and get us up to 100 likes as quickly as possible. That is always much appreciated. So look, this is what the Mirror is saying, okay? And this is why I put the stalling thing in the title. According to the Mirror, Arsenal's move for Calafiori is on hold due to a standoff between the Italian side and Basel for the sell-on fee. So the standoff is not between us and Bologna right now. The standoff is between Bologna and Basel. Arsenal have been pushing to land Calafiori for weeks, but their negotiations are frozen, with Bologna threatening to call off the deal. So Bologna are now reportedly threatening to call off the deal. This is coming from the Mirror, but based on the fact that Basel won't back down from the 50% sell-on clause. And in my opinion, why should they? Why should Basel step down from an agreement that they made? They negotiated that deal when they sold Calafiori from Basel to Bologna. Bologna agreed to it. Why the hell should Basel step down now that he's worth so much money and Bologna want to get that money. Like, I don't blame Basel for saying no. Swivel on it. Like, you're going to sell him eventually, and they are going to sell him eventually. So Basel are holding on, which I understand and respect. Bologna are the problem here. Bologna are the ones that are quite literally trying to go back on a deal that they made. For Arsenal, it's understandable. And I'll tell you one of the reasons that we're not going and just going, okay, here's the money. Because Arteta had to convince the board in the first place that this was a signing we needed to make. Because we have Kivior and we have Tomiyasu and we have Zinchenko, Arteta had to prove, really, that this was a signing that we really needed to make. And if it is a signing that we really need to make, or if it's not a signing we really need to make, which is what some people at Arsenal think, then you're going to be pressed to then try and get an extra 5 million for him. So it's difficult. It's difficult. The delusional fans saying Yoro chose them over Madrid. Yeah, well, look, I think the situation with Lenny Yoro was that he could either... So Real Madrid basically didn't want to sign Yoro for a fee. Real Madrid basically wanted Yoro to stay at Lille for another season, see out his contract, because he's out of contract next summer, or he would have been, and then Real Madrid wanted to sign him on a free. That was what they wanted. Of course, Man United have come in, offered a huge amount of money, which, by the way, includes a huge agent fee and a big, big pay rise for Yoro. And so Lenny Yoro's team around him, they're set to cash in like 5 to 10 million quid themselves off the back of this deal. So obviously they're going to be pushing for the Man United move to him. And he was left in a position where ultimately it was like, okay, I could gamble, stay another season at Lille and get my dream move to Real Madrid. But if I have a bad season, or I get an ACL injury or any sort of big injury, Real Madrid might not want me next summer. And I'd have already turned down Man United this summer. And suddenly I've got neither of them. So I think, look, he's 18 years old. It's very possible that he takes Man United now with a look to moving on to Real Madrid at some point anyway. Madrid cannot afford any other major signings this window. I agree. It made me laugh. I saw a couple of people saying today, oh, now that Real Madrid can't get Lenny Yoro, they're going to turn their attention to Saliba. It's like, mate, they were offering 20 million for Lenny Yoro. They would need to be offering 150 million for a chance of getting Saliba, which is quite funny. How likely is it we get Kimmich this window? I don't know. I think Kimmich is going to leave Bayern, but I don't know. I don't know how likely it is. The whole mystery German thing has just completely fizzled out. We've not heard anything from anyone about the mystery German in ages, and I'm at the point of thinking it wasn't even a thing. Germany have been out of the Euros for ages. I just don't think it was true. Xerxes rumours of being upset that Yoro getting over double the wages he's on. Potential unrest already at United. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Mbappe was free. Free. In the same way that Haaland was like 50 mil. It doesn't quite work like that. The ESR bid clearly wasn't 30 mil from Fulham. Yeah, we'll talk about this. Actually, well, you've brought it up now, so we may as well move on to that. So the final thing, Gazzetta Italia, just to tie into what the Mirror had said about Calafiori, Gazzetta Italia said Arsenal are now waiting on Bologna, who are trying to make Basel lower their sell-on clause for Calafiori. So it really is now a case of we're almost on the sidelines, and it's just Bologna and Basel going at each other. So, yeah, we're waiting on them now, which is frustrating. It is frustrating. But yeah, Team News and Ticks said a couple of things today. So remember yesterday, we said the bid, according to the Simon Jones in the Mail, the bid for Smith Rowe was around 30 million plus bonuses, and we turned it down. And we were happy with that, right? We were like, okay, if the starting point for Smith Rowe is 30 million, and we've rejected that, that should mean we end up with a decent fee for him. But according to Team News and Ticks, Fulham are thought to be preparing a second bid for Emil Smith Rowe. However, it will have to be a significant improvement on their first bid, which was described as horrendous. Crystal Palace are also expected to make an offer for the player. Now, unless we want like 50 mil for Smith Rowe, a horrendous offer can't surely have been... I would not describe 30 million plus bonuses as a horrendous offer. which is now making me think maybe it wasn't 30 mil plus bonuses and Simon Jones in the Mail is not telling the truth. And therefore, what was the offer? And are we back down into the ballpark of being offered like 15 to 20 million for Smith Rowe, which would be a joke? So again, it's frustrating that Team News and Ticks hasn't got the offer himself. He doesn't know what the money was, other than the fact that it was described as horrendous. But yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. Like, I don't know what we need to do to sell players for more money, but we'll wait on that one. Boardsy, good to see you. Also coming from Team News and Ticks, I've heard rumours that we were due to speak to Nico Williams this week to see if there is any chance of persuading him to join us. The rumour was that we have prepared a Rice-like presentation. I spoke to someone at the club who reiterated we absolutely love him and we will take any chance if we can get it. So Arsenal really do want Nico Williams. Supposedly, it was reported that when we spoke to Declan Rice, there was like an entire presentation made about how Declan Rice was going to fit in at Arsenal, why Arteta wanted him so much, how the future would develop with Declan Rice. And reportedly, according to Team News and Ticks at least, we've done a similar thing for Nico Williams. The difficulty is this. Nico Williams wants Barcelona, right? Absolutely. His dream and his team's dream, the people around him, they all want Nico Williams at Barcelona. I think they see a future of Williams on one side and Yamal on the other side. That's like the future of Spain, the future of Spanish football, and the future of Barcelona. I think they see that as competing with Mbappe and Vinny and Rodrigo, I guess, right? So that's his dream. The reality is Barcelona can't afford him. The reality is Barcelona absolutely cannot afford him unless they do something crazy. So does he end up then in a position a bit like Lenny Yoro, where Lenny Yoro probably wanted to go to Real Madrid, but that's no longer an option? So then it becomes, for Lenny Yoro today, it was basically, do you want to stay at Lille or do you want to go to Man United? For Nico Williams, it becomes, do you want to stay at Atletico or do you want to go to Arsenal? And I think maybe we could persuade him. Now, the wages are an issue, as we've spoken about a bunch of times. But if Arsenal really are like heavily in on him, then I think we should go for it. 105 already pays for Declan sideways. I don't know what that means. If Rice is worth 100 mil, then Smith Rowe should be at least 80 mil. No. We ain't getting any starting 11 player this summer. That seems certain. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, you might not be wrong about that. It does seem that way, which we had a starting 11 last season. Well, Calafiori could very well end up being a starting 11 player. We had a starting 11 last season that is capable of winning the title. The issue with the team last season was the depth. If we bring in that depth, we've got another chance of winning the title. Is the Calafiori deal off? No, but it is on hold. It is on hold whilst Bologna battle with Basel over the sell-on clause. So, yeah, there's not a lot we can do about that at the moment. Would you rather buy Frankie de Jong and let Williams go Barca or get Williams and get stuck with Marino as the only centre-mid signing? Oh, that is actually a great question. That is a great question. Buy Frankie de Jong, but it means that you give Barca the money to get Williams. So then we only go and get Marino. Or buy Williams. Sorry, or buy Williams and get Marino. I'd get Frankie de Jong. I'd get Frankie de Jong and gamble on the fact partly because Williams doesn't actually want to play for Arsenal, he wants to play for Barca. And secondly, I think the midfield is more important. And I've still got faith in Martinelli. Wilsey, thank you very, very much for being a member for 3 months. I really do appreciate the support on the channel, Wilsey. Absolute legend. And he says, be a legend, smash that like button. Yeah, please do hit the like button if you've not done already. We're trying to get to 100 likes. That would be fantastic. Frankie's on 600k wages a week. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but he won't be if he leaves Barcelona. Like, he's not going to... Frankie de Jong will know. Barca don't want him on 600k a week anyway. Part of that 600k a week is actually the fact that they're paying him back on the wages that they owed him from during COVID. And no one is going to pay near 600 grand a week for him. So yeah, we wouldn't be paying. We wouldn't be paying that. Martinelli's football IQ is not good enough. Well, it was the season before last, though, wasn't it? I feel like Martinelli's reputation took a hammering last season, and I think that was unfair. People forget how young he is as well. Like, he's still improving. Found out who the mystery German is yet? No, I'm getting to the point where I don't think the mystery German exists, to be honest. Get the dang likes up. After watching the Euros, are you confident we can win the league with Havertz as a starting striker? He's far too wasteful. Not necessarily. One thing, I made a video about this on TikTok today, right? Gabriel Jesus looks fit. Not in that way, but he does look fit. He looks lean. He looks probably the best I've seen him since he's been at Arsenal. In the preseason pictures, he looks like he's really kind of lean, basically, compared to previously. And I don't know if that's to do with like trying to put less weight through the knee or something. But if Gabriel Jesus can get back to somewhere near pre-World Cup Jesus, that is an unbelievable player to have in the squad still, even if he's not starting. So maybe it's just me being silly and getting my hopes up again, ready for them to be torn down. But God, we would be well off if Gabriel Jesus can be back to Gabriel Jesus. Playing off the right, playing off the left, playing through the middle. As an impact sub, as a guy that can start when players need a break. If we can get that player back, that would be huge for us. So he's actually, when I look ahead to preseason, he's one of the players that I'm really looking forward to seeing in preseason. Along with some of the academy players, I'm really looking forward to seeing Miles Lewis-Skelly, hopefully, in preseason. I think he's going to impress people. But Jesus, I think, Jesus's ability this season, Jesus's quality this season has a big impact on our season. I really do think that. Jesus left 8? Nah, not for me. Not for me. We've got very reactionary fans from the moment a player drops off one season. He's bad. That is true. That is true. What happened to Calafiori? The deal is on hold at the moment, reportedly. Arsenal are now waiting for Bologna and Basel because Bologna want Basel to lower their sell-on clause. We saw moments of Gabriel Jesus, even last season, even after the second knee injury. We saw moments from Jesus where you're like, he's still got that quality. The assist for Trossard against Bayern, right? That, for me, I just feel like there's still a player there. There is still a player there. And if he spent the whole summer working on his fitness, building that knee back up, it could be big. It could be big. Fabio Vieira would be like a new signing. Why no Turkish club is bidding for him? I'm surprised. I'll be interested to see Fabio Vieira in preseason as well, actually. Yeah, I will be interested to see him in preseason. Timber, another one I'm looking forward to seeing in preseason is Yuri and Timber. All three of them almost could feel like new signings next season if they can get to the level that they're capable of. Nothing happened to the Calafiori deal. It's media spreading bullshit because they don't know the ins and outs of the deal. Well, it's not bullshit to say that the deal is on hold or that the deal is stalling, because it is, because we've been speaking to them for weeks and not like, this isn't how business works. There's no reason for this deal not to be moving forward unless it had been stalled, right? There's no games happening. It is the transfer window. Teams are trying to get business done before the start of preseason. It is on hold. And it does seem like the reason for that is the Basel sell-on clause. What about Nelson? In or out for you? Again, actually brings me on to Nelson. Sam Dean says, Reece Nelson is another player of interest to West Ham. It is thought that he could be available for a fee in the region of 15 to 20 million. An ex-West Ham United employee, who is like West Ham's version of Team News and Ticks, said that Reece Nelson is keen on going to West Ham, and he's made that intention clear to Arsenal. No fee has been agreed, but the player is hopeful that it could get done before Arsenal go on tour to the USA. Crystal Palace are also interested in him. 15 to 20 million, I'd take that for Reece Nelson. Because Because the reality is this. I can understand why a team wouldn't want to pay more than 15 to 20 million for Reece Nelson. I think that makes sense. And if the option is, okay, you take, let's go low option, go 15 mil. You either take 15 million or Reece Nelson is on the bench / not even in the squad next season. Realistically, there were quite a few games this season when we had a fully fit squad where Reece Nelson wasn't even in the match day squad. For 15 million, like, that's still worth more than, you've got to let him go for 15 million. Even though that doesn't seem a lot for him, and even though I feel like there would have been periods of time previously where we could have got more than that for him, I would imagine we could have got more than that for him last summer, truthfully. But yeah, the wages that he's on, because he's on like, what, 100K a week? Yeah, I feel like you've just got to let him go. And 15 million doesn't seem like enough, but it is what it is. According to Le Provence Sports, which is a French outlet, Eddie Nketiah to Marseille has not made significant progress. Arsenal, this is where the numbers just all get weird, right? Because previously, and it was bullshit, it must have been bullshit, we heard that Arsenal wanted 50 million for Nketiah, right? No chance, never. But according to Le Provence Sport, the reason that Nketiah to Marseille isn't making significant progress is because Arsenal want more than 20 million. Arsenal want more than 20 mil. And Marseille don't want to pay more than 20 mil. So you're not getting, unless there's a big bidding war between like Palace and Fulham and all that, you're not getting even 30, I wouldn't expect, for Eddie Nketiah. Marseille have just dropped more than that on Mason Greenwood. And so, yeah, I think Eddie Nketiah is going to be a tough one to get gone. I really do. Again, he's on decent wages. And I just don't think there are going to be buyers for him. It's tough. It is tough. Who do you think will have a better comeback season, Martinelli or Jesus? Martinelli. I'm putting faith in Martinelli this season. I think, I'm putting faith in Martinelli this season if we fix the left-hand side. So if we fix the left-back spot, whether that's Calafiori or Timber or whoever, I think Calafiori would actually help Martinelli more. And we fix the left central midfield spot, whether that's Marino or whoever, I'm backing Martinelli. I am backing Martinelli. Jesus, I'm hoping, will also have a much better season. But yeah, I'm backing Martinelli. Do you trust the Source Purple panel on Twitter? No. I'm not saying he'll never get things right, but he tries far too hard to prove himself correct. All you need to do is get things right, get things accurate, and be consistent. That's how you build faith. That's, look at David Ornstein. Again today, David Ornstein got the exclusive yet. David Ornstein is having an absolute worldie of a summer at this point in terms of the exclusives that he's been getting. Jesus in the Champions League group stages. Well, yeah, in the league format as it will be, but yeah. I don't think Frankie de Jong is for sale since Hansi Flick really likes him and probably sees him as an integral part of Barca. Yeah, he does. I don't think Frankie de Jong goes anywhere. But that is part of the reason that Barca then can't afford Nico Williams, because they'd have been looking at this summer, maybe thinking before Hansi Flick, maybe thinking that they sell Frankie de Jong. Nah, they're not going to do that, so they won't get that money. Arsenal posting that Timber goal for the under-23s is just so exciting. It is. T-Nat fell off, to be honest. He needs to build some. He does need to build a bit of reputation back, I think. But it's difficult because everything's so secretive at Arsenal at the moment. Anyway, a couple of other things. According to Gunner Blog, Arsenal are keen to strengthen the central midfield if the opportunity arises. I do not like that wording. I don't like that word. It should not be Arsenal are keen to strengthen central midfield if the opportunity arises. It should be Arsenal are going to strengthen in central midfield, because Arsenal need to strengthen in central midfield. The opportunities are there. And we'll talk about some of the opportunities in a second, actually. But he says they have closely followed João Neves, as well as Mikel Merino and Martin Zubimendi. The current thinking is that a significant midfield arrival may require Thomas Partey to be sold. And I don't think that's unreasonable. I do think if we want a big midfield signing, that will involve Thomas Partey getting sold, undoubtedly. On João Neves, right? If the opportunity arises, well, okay, according to L'Equipe, PSG are accelerating for João Neves. Remember, João Neves' release clause was 120 million. And at 120 million, we were like, okay, we'll stay away from that. 120 million euros, that's too much for João Neves. Absolutely. PSG are accelerating for João Neves. L'Équipe confirm the sum being discussed is 60 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons. A written offer has not yet been sent. PSG are hopeful of a quick outcome. Neves is waiting Benfica's response. 120 million euros, yeah, that's too much. 60 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons. That's like 50 million quid. That's like 50 million quid for João Neves. That is your opportunity. Hello. If the opportunity arises, here's your opportunity. For me, that is, if he ends up going for that figure, for 60 million euros plus 10, that's a missed opportunity. Massive missed opportunity. Massive missed opportunity. Yeah. I don't know. Rice is poor at 6, poor at 8. We paid 105 million for that. Okay, buddy. I genuinely, I respect your. I don't respect the opinion. I don't respect the opinion. It stinks. I was going to say I respect the opinion. I try to respect opinions. That's just a howler. But no, yeah. So with João Neves, I think that would be a bigger opportunity missed if he goes for 60 plus 10. We'll see. Because that's similar to the figure that we're looking at Zubimendi for. Like, I don't know. But that feels like it would be a miss. It does feel like it would be a miss. Why did we forget about Osimhen? I just don't think that we are going for a major striker. And that is annoying for the Gyökeres train as well. Rice criticism is fair. Rice criticism based on last season in the Premier League is just not fair. He was absolutely one of the best midfielders in the Premier League last year. Hands down, comfortably. If you want to base it on an England team, where he plays in the 6 and is left completely alone to deal with the entire midfield, go ahead. Rice covered more ground in the Euros than any other midfielder. He made more tackles. He won the ball back more times than anyone else. He made more forward passes than anyone else. He said unfair. Mindful, you are correct. I apologize. I just misread it. I misread it. Anyway, everything I just said, direct it back at whoever the donkey was that said that he was poor in the 6 and poor in the 8. Just direct it back towards them. Mindful. I should be more mindful. I apologize. But yeah, there you go. That is pretty much all of the news for today. Yeah, VAR check. Talk about Nico Williams. Well, we did talk about Nico Williams a little bit, but look, he wants Barca. Barca can't afford him. Arsenal really like him. We're preparing some sort of presentation explaining why it is that we want him and how he can fit in Arsenal. That's what it is. We'll wait and see how it goes. It would be a big signing. Another day of new signings or outgoings. It's getting annoying watching United and Chelsea bring in so many players. Kind of, but you can't get too wrapped up in the FOMO of what other teams are doing. Like, Man City haven't done anything yet. Okay, they signed Savio, but that deal was done back in February. Other than that, Man City have done nothing yet. Like, do we assume that Man City have no idea what they're doing? Maybe there is a genuine feeling that there are going to be very good value deals to be done later in the window. You know, I don't know, but it's fair. The criticism is fair, but I just think you got to be patient with it. That means Trossard or Martinelli will leave. We'll have 3 left wingers. Possibly. But then Trossard can play through the middle. Martinelli is the left winger. Nico Williams can play off the right as well. So you might not necessarily need to lose any of them. Maybe we do end up selling. You could sell Trossard potentially. I don't know. It would be interesting to see what happened if Nico Williams came in. That's too much information. We shouldn't know that Arsenal are preparing a presentation. I want us to do business quietly. Yeah, I don't disagree, but I mean, that's coming from Team News and Ticks. So, but again, he called it a rumor. So maybe it's not happening if it's just a rumor. Anyway, I'm going to show my FPL team. Here it is, sports fans. Here it is. This is the new FPL team. Can Jesus be Jesus will never be clinical. No. So we've got Bart Verbruggen in goal, Jurgen Timber. Now, the reason I've gone Timber, I think he'll start at the start of the season anyway, because even if we bring in Calafiori, I don't think he'll go straight to starting. So I think Timber's going to start. And if Timber does end up playing in the midfield as a defender in the game, he'll get all of the points that you get for keeping a clean sheet, but also he'll have a good chance of getting points as a midfielder. Gvardiol, who I think is a bargain. Ian Martson, I've gone for. That's a dubious one. I might get rid of him. Still unsure about that one. But I've also got Cucurella on the bench. Saka, Palmer, Gordon, and Rashford. I've got a weird feeling Rashford's going to bounce back this season. Watkins, Isak, and Samina. What I might do is swap out Kai Havertz and get Martin Ødegaard in midfield and then get a different striker. That might happen. But we'll see. And then, Cucurella, Hutchinson, and Harwood Bellis on the bench. If you want to join my team, by the way, my team name, Calafiori. That's going to backfire if we don't sign Calafiori. The team name, major backfire. This is the league. So if you want to join the league, this is the code. In fact, I'll put it in the chat. That's the code to join it. And then this is the link to join it. That's the actual link to join it. So there you go. If you're watching this on the watch back, my Instagram story has a link to join it, or obviously just use that code. W20MAT is the code. So there you go. That's how the FPL team's looking. The team name has jinxed the transfer. Yeah, maybe. maybe. I might have jinxed it. I'm glad there's only 4 players per team max, as I'd end up with 90% Arsenal. I think it's 3, isn't it? I think it's 3 per team, unless they've increased it. It's usually 3 per team. They have one big change they've made is that you can now stock up 5 transfers rather than 2. So previously, like if you didn't make a transfer one week, you'd be able to do 2 the next. You can now stack that up to 5 transfers, which is pretty big. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community. Let's get your fingers on your keyboards. We're starting now. By the way, this is a difficult one. They joined clue number 1. They joined Arsenal's under-18s in 2001. They joined Arsenal under-18s in 2001. Clue number 2, they played 12 games for the Arsenal senior team and never scored. Clue number 2, they played 12 games for the Arsenal senior team and never scored. Clue number 3, they made 282 Premier League appearances. Clue number 3, they made 282 Premier League appearances. Obviously not all at Arsenal. Clue number 4, they won the League Cup with Birmingham City, beating Arsenal in the final. Clue number 4, they won the League Cup with Birmingham City, beating Arsenal in the final. And clue number 5, they played 133 times for Sweden. Clue number 5, they played 133 times for Sweden. There we go. I can see that some of you have got it, but who got it first? Dun, 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 dun. Make sure we don't get VAR checked today, baby. The winner is... Wow, look at him. He's back. Ross Lawman is back. He's cooking. He is correct. It was indeed Sebastian Larsson. Ross Lawman, welcome back to the winner's enclosure. Pekka was second. Third was El Minister. Fourth was VV Vlad. And fifth was Ethan Udall. But there we go. Congratulations to Ross Lawman. Congratulations to Ross Lawman on winning. Sebastian Larsson, there you go. And interestingly, I was then watching Pointless, right? Whilst eating dinner, I was watching Pointless, and the final on Pointless was naming Swedish, and you had to name any player with more than one Premier League appearance from either Sweden or from Denmark. Sebastian Larsson. He was a pointless answer. In fact, I got 3 pointless answers. I went Sebastian Larsson, Kim Kallstrom, and Nicholas Bentner. And all 3 were correct. So that was sensational. For some reason, I feel like the comments have stopped loading. So we might have an issue there. The comments seem to have stopped. Oh, no, maybe not. No, the comments are back. The comments are back. It's all good. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Non-Gooner. Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. And you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community to get your fingers on your keyboards. But not as much respect as Ross Lawman has. Butchered that one. This player started their career at the Man City Academy. They went on loan to Darlington. They went on loan to Bury. They went on loan to Bury again. They went on loan to Falkirk. They went on loan to Cardiff City. They went on loan to Coventry City. They then moved permanently to Notts County. They then moved permanently to Leeds United. They then moved permanently to Leicester City. They then moved permanently to Nice. And they moved permanently to Anderlecht. So, Man City reserves, where they went on loan to Darlington, Bury again, Falkirk, Cardiff City, Coventry City. They then moved permanently to Notts County, then to Leeds United, then to Leicester City, then to Nice, and then to Anderlecht. There we go. Who got it first? Oh, he hasn't, has he? Surely he hasn't. Wait. Surely. Oh, he's done it. He's done the dirty double. Ross Lawman is back with an absolute vengeance. And he has come back with a dirty double. Ross Lawman, sensational. It was indeed Cashbush Michael. Ethan Udall was second. Ryan was third. Ryan Henderson was third. Not sure anyone else even got it. Matthew was fourth. Oh, no. Yeah, Matthew was fourth, and Mr. was fifth. There you go. The Caspers. Fair play. Fair play to Ross Lawman. Ethan wants a VAR check. I will check. Okay, Ross Lawman said it there. You said it literally directly after him on my screen. And your one before that was Brahim on my screen. So I don't know what other people are saying. There's no VAR. There you go. VAR, 2 goals given to Ross Lawman. There you go. That is what getting a new job does. Now he doesn't have to worry about getting a new job. He is back with a vengeance. Sensational. There you go. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the stream. Anyone that joins the FPL, fantastic. I will be live on Twitch. We're starting the final season of The Walking Dead on Twitch tonight, 10:15, 10:30, something like that. Link is down in the description to the Twitch channel. Other than that, please do like, subscribe, and I will catch you all tomorrow evening at 6:30. Have a fantastic evening, and goodbye.